What's up? What's up? Hello orchid fans, what's up? Welcome back. I've not been doing many videos lately, and there are kind of two reasons, to be honest. So one is that orchids are not really doing much right now. So we are in winter at the moment, so I've got a couple blooms to show you for this monthly update. But yeah, I don't really have too many kind of repots to do, or any, I'm not buying any new orchids right now either, so it's just pretty quiet in my orchid collection, so there's not really much to kind of film or to show you guys. And there is another reason. I'm moving jobs right now, so I'm doing two jobs in one go, so I'm really busy from that perspective, so I don't really have much time to film or spend the time on my orchids either. So I hope my orchids are not gonna suffer from this. I'm really just watering them, and that's pretty much all I do at the moment. So we're heading into winter, as I said. Well, we are kind of in winter already, and usually the humidity goes quite low in this room, and I usually would miss my orchids quite a lot during winter, whereas this year I won't really be able to do much of that, I don't think. So I am changing it a little bit. So what I'm trying to do with this room right now is I switched off the heating altogether, so this room cools down a bit, which means that orchids slow down a bit as well, and then the humidity is not as low. I don't know if that really makes much sense, but it kind of works out a bit better. And also my cooler growers are over there behind that curtain, so I'll show you these as well. They seem to like living on the windowsill right now, and it's a lot cooler. We're actually having a storm right now, and there is so much snow. Okay, not that much, but there is snow, yeah, we are just kind of in the middle of a storm at the moment. So yeah, the weather is definitely cooler, so even with the window totally shut, it's still quite cold on the windowsill, but I think the cooler growers are really enjoying that. So yeah, let's just jump in. Let's have a look what the orchids are doing at the moment, and yeah, we'll see what's going on. Take a look at this, guys. Our neighbor's fence completely fell off, and all their decorations are just lying on the ground. So yeah, this storm is just no fun. We've got a bit of snow as well in our garden, and we had to move all our garden furniture in that shed over there, and that's where I keep my akadama. So I can't get into it right now, and I can't repot one of my orchids. I'll show you later which one it is. But here are my cooler growers. So first of all, let's have a look at this one, and you can see there is 18 degrees on the windowsill, 60% humidity. So I think the cooler growers, for them it's perfect, and majority of them are in leca as well, which kind of keeps the pot even cooler than what the temperature is saying. So I think they are enjoying it. So this is my Pleurathalis dilemma, and you can see it's got a bud here. I think actually all the growths have got buds, so you can see a bud here as well. And I think that there is, I'm pretty sure I saw another one, but maybe I'm wrong. And what do you think? So I had this huge growth here, which I also posted on Instagram saying, oh my goodness, I think I maybe cracked the code. Well, I obviously didn't. It's blackened up and it's died. I've got this other growth here as well, and you can see it's got this tiny leaf coming out of it, and so far, fingers crossed. Honestly, I'm even afraid to talk about it, because as soon as I say it looks good, it then just blackens off and dies. But it seems to be doing pretty well for now, so fingers crossed I'll maybe manage to get one growth out of this orchid for finally. And then my Chimas Devalias over there, they've got a couple new growths as well coming on, but not too much really to show you just now. And this guy here, this is my hybrid of Dendrobium cubertsonii, and it's pushing out so many new growths, and it is dropping leaves as well on the older growths as well. But I think that it's, you know, all these new growths, they've got so many leaves coming on, so many roots, so it seems pretty good. But what I would like to do with it, I would like to actually repot it, and there are some canes like this one here, for example, they're totally shriveled up, and you can see there is a new growth right there as well. So I want to kind of get rid of all these shriveled canes, see how many plants are actually in here, because I have a feeling there is more than one. And you know, just give a bit more space to these new growths so that they can develop the roots properly, and you know, they don't have all these dead canes in the way. So that's on my list to do, and probably this time of year will be pretty good for it because it's cooler grower, so it probably will you know, prefer to be repotted now, and you know, all these new growths are coming out and the roots, so I think it's going to be a good time to do it just now. So I hope this light is not going to be too bad. I've shut the other lights, but this one hopefully is not going to be too invasive. Take a look at my Dendrobium berryoda. So it started opening its blooms. It's so pretty. You can see I've got 3 spikes in total that are kind of, you know, opening their buds, but I've got more spikes on the way as well. You can see there is one here. I think there is maybe a couple, so there is one, just a knob right here as well. It's pushing out the new growths pretty well as well. You can see there is one right here, one on the other side, and then there is a smaller one at the back here as well. So this orchid is pretty busy just now, but these blooms are amazing. So I'm gonna do a bloom alert video on it once it's you know, it's opened all its blooms. I think it's gonna be quite a show, so I can't wait to see it. And then the other orchids on here, you know, they're doing pretty well. You can see my white phal has opened all its blooms as well, so it's got basically 2 branches on here. So it's got quite a nice cluster of white blooms. I'm really enjoying this one right now. My Eulophia Petersii, which is like this tall leaf here, I would take it out, but it's kind of nudged into there pretty well. I'll maybe do a separate video on it actually. It's one of my favorite orchids. It's a desert orchid, and it started opening its leaf now, and it's so pretty. It's you know, it's swelling up the bulb as well at the base, so I might actually need to repot it soon, I don't know, but right now I'm just enjoying this huge growth. It's so much bigger than the previous one, and I'm just really enjoying looking at it. So let's see if I can just lower you down nicely. So on this shelf I've got small orchids. Again, they're kind of, some of them are resting. My Oceocladus patulifera is kind of not really doing anything anymore, so it's just resting now. My keiki, this is the Epidendrum hybrid. I'm not sure what the name of it is, but it's grown so much. I recently posted a photo of it, and there is another photo which is showing, you know, what it was when I got it. It only had those 2 leaves, and the third one just coming out of the apex. It was so tiny just a few months ago, and it's grown so much. It's got a lot of roots as well, just circling the pot. So yeah, this cake is just doing fantastic. And my Angraecum aloifolium is pretty much finishing to mature its leaf here. I really like the texture of this Angraecum, and yeah, the leaf is, as you can see, is starting to split now, starting to open, but you can see they are actually quite you know, quite flat, and you know, they don't really open up much, so it's just a really interesting orchid. It seems to be doing super well. There is a root kind of growing outside the pot right there. You can see it hopefully. I don't really want to take it out so that I don't brush it too much against the decorative container. And my Cattleya here, This is the Orchid Queen. I'll put the full name on the screen. You can see the new growth is so tall now, and it still keep going up. It's not you know, developed a leaf or anything, so I think it's gonna be a huge new growth, which I can't wait for. And yeah, I think the rest of the orchids are doing pretty well. I would quite like to see this maxillaria bloom for me at some point, but you know, I think I need to wait. But look at all these beautiful roots, aerial roots. You know, it's got 3 new growths right now, so it's got these 2 on the side and then another one at the back, and it's just such a beautiful orchid. You know, I would really like to grow on, for it to grow on and just kind of become a really nice specimen plant. It's going to be pretty small, I think. It's just a big climber, but I hope I can accommodate it. And then the next shelf down, my Celogeny schilleriana has pretty much dropped all its leaves now. It's still got this one leaf, which I think is probably ready to go as well. So that one is kind of ready for winter. I hope it actually survives until spring. It's not really got much roots from this season, so I think those bulbs are gonna shrivel up quite bad, but we'll see what happens in the spring. I really hope it kind of pulls through. My little cattleya here, this is the some kind of blue angel or something like that. It's got a huge name. So it's LC Corians Mini Quinny Angel Kiss, and gosh, it's so busy. It just keeps developing new growths. There is a huge new growth right here as well, still pushing on, and yeah, they keep getting bigger and bigger. Unfortunately, I can't see it even trying to start blooming, so I hope that, you know, it will start pushing on some blooms at some point. All the other orchids are kind of just growing pretty well. My Cattleya schilleriana at the back there's 2 plants in there, and it's developed the new growths on both plants, and they're just kind of pushing out roots. It's quite cute, but these seedlings seem to be doing pretty well. My vanilla orchid right here, it's not looking too good. It's this is the piece that is doing better. I've got 2 of them, and one of the pieces is just really, I don't think it's gonna survive at all. Even this one is not looking too good. You can see it's dropping the leaves still, and it does have a few roots in the pot, if I can find them, but that's pretty much it. You know, it does have a couple roots, but yeah, it's not trying to grow anything new right now, so it's pretty small. I mean, when I got it, that plant was huge, and then after I repotted, it just seemed to have lost all its will to live, so I don't know how long I'm gonna have that one for. But yeah, everyone else is doing well. My Renanthera monachica over there just keeps growing that long root, and it's still actively growing, so yeah, they're doing pretty well. So let's just keep going down. Alright, so I guess one of the plants that is really standing out right now is my cinnamon twinkle. So it's got those 3 spikes on it, and 2 of the spikes are pretty much in full bloom right now. And oh my goodness, that is such a show. It's looking amazing. I love this orchid. It just looks so nice. I'm waiting for the 3rd spike to open, but this spike here has been open for a while now, so I think I'm actually just gonna do a bloom video on it very soon, and I won't wait for this spike to open because I think I'm gonna start losing blooms on one of the other spikes, and it's just looking amazing at the moment. It's also already started growing a new growth here on one of the bulbs. I'm waiting as well for this pseudobulb to push out a new growth, at least one, because those 2 pseudobulbs came out at the same time, so they're both, you know, I'm expecting them both to push out new growths. So hopefully they will both give me new growths. But yeah, it's really busy at the moment, and it's just so beautiful. I've got my red fantasy over there in the corner, and you can see there is 3 spikes on it as well. They are still pretty young, and I'm just kind of starting to see the buds starting to swell up, so it's gonna be a while before it opens. But again, that one is gonna be a nice showstopper, you know. It's with these free spikes and so many blooms. My Dendrobium hibiki kinda surprised me a little bit. It started pushing out new growths, and there is about 7 in this spot. So you can see one here, there is one small one in the middle, and then we've got 2 growths here right next to each other. Another one here. So it's just a pot full of new growth. So when it started, you know, dropping its leaves, I thought that, you know, I don't know if it was maybe either preparing for the winter or it's not liking something and is kind of dropping those leaves. But now it's pushed out so many new growths and they are all looking really nice and healthy. So I think it is just, you know, it was just ready to drop those leaves from the older canes. So hopefully all these canes that drop their leaves, they're gonna bloom next season, and that's gonna be quite a show. Last year it bloomed for me, but it only had, I think, maybe 4 blooms on one spike, on one cane. So, you know, and it looked amazing. So, and the blooms lasted forever. So once, you know, so many canes bloom, this one I think is gonna look absolutely amazing. So yeah, my hibiscus seems to be pretty happy here. My Tolumnia, so I potted this one maybe about a month ago, maybe a bit longer, and I think it's actually doing a lot better now. So it's got a lot of roots going down into the media. You can see there is this one long root here. It's kind of in the middle, but look at the branching on that root. It's just got so many branches coming through. And I think that the leaves kind of plumped up a bit now as well. It was quite shriveled up when I was potting it up. So it is still quite purple. So you know, it's sitting actually on this shelf, which I consider kind of a low life shelf, because it's got a shade kind of netting put on. But yeah, it is still pretty purple. But anyway, I think that it is, you know, doing pretty well in this pot. I think it's enjoying actually being potted up. So I hope that, you know, it will start pushing out some spikes for me. And this is my jewel orchid Aspidogeny. So this is the one I want to put in Akadama. So Akadama is a bonsai mix, but these orchids like to be potted, you know, in dirt basically. And, you know, Akadama, so there is a top dressing of Akadama here, so you can see what it looks like and what is the texture of it. And look at this new root. It's growing down and it seems to be really nice and happy. I've got a few other nubbins here, and I think that they would like to push out some new roots, but basically there is no space for them to do that. So I need to repot it into a wider pot so that this orchid can kind of lie down a bit and start pushing those new roots out into the media. So, but yeah, I kind of need to get into the shade to be able to get my Akadama from there. So for now, this orchid is just sitting in this small pot. And while we're talking about jewel orchids, I've got my Macodes petola. I'm actually keeping it away from the shelves because I think it had just way too much light. And you know, it started really burning its leaves, and you can see there's quite a few burns all over. And after I moved it out of here, it seems to kind of greened up a bit more. So basically it's getting no light whatsoever at the moment. It just sits on my table in the same room, but you know, there is not much light at all. But it actually seems to quite enjoy it right now. So, you know, you can see there is new growth on this end, and previously the leaves are kind of falling off and, you know, dying, but there are still, you know, they're pushing out now and they're not dying anymore. So I think this orchid is enjoying this a little bit more, even though it's not really getting any light at all. So I've got my Sherry Baby right here. I guess it is just kind of, you know, trying to develop its new growths and get used to leca. So yeah, it's just, you know, I'm just not really doing anything with it right now, just kind of keep watering and making sure it doesn't desiccate, but there is not really much going on with it at the moment. So I've got my Prostechia garciana, and it dropped 2 leaves on the oldest growth, but it's pushing out the new growth at the front, and look at the amount of roots it's got. So that is looking pretty good. And can you believe it, that bloom, sorry, let me reposition it, that bloom is still with us. It is very washed off, you know, so it is obviously at the end of its life, but it's still here, which I'm really surprised about. I think it's been at least a month, if not 6 weeks, for this bloom. So yeah, I'm so happy with that. And another one I would like to show you is my Paphiopedilum blackjack, so which is right there. And you might notice that it's gone really small. So I about maybe, I don't know, about a month ago, I took away a few fans because they just seemed to kind of, I think they were just old and, you know, just tired, so I took them off. But then about a week ago, I noticed that a few of other fans are actually rotted at the base, so I had to take them out. And you can see, you know, you can see here where I took them off. And this fan, which you can see in front of you, you can see at the base, I think it's actually rotted as well, so I might need to take that off as well. And it is a new fan, so I've got two fans here. Well, not really that new, I mean, it has bloomed before, so looks like I might lose that as well, but that will leave it with just one fan on this side, which, you know, is still, you can see it's still quite new and not really fully developed. So I don't want to take the old fan unless I absolutely have to, because I don't know if it will have enough energy, you know, to push out this new fan properly. It's got some nubbins for the roots. You can see one right there, and there is another one on the other side just behind this leca ball. So this new fan is trying to push out new roots. So what I might actually have to do is maybe take it out of the pot. I recently repotted it into leca, so I don't know if I should just keep it alone and let it be, or if I should take it out of the pot and maybe get rid of all the roots and things. So but yeah, you can see the roots here, they're looking pretty healthy, I would say. But you know, for that one little fan, I don't think it really needs that many roots. So I'm really not too sure what to do, to be honest. I hope it's not gonna die on me altogether. And then lastly, my Phalaenopsis over there, I'm gonna get it repotted. You actually might see the repot video before this one, so you might already have seen this getting repotted, but you can see the spike has now dropped all the blooms, so I think it's a good time to repot it. I had it in this pot for over a year, and it's a very kind of densely packed media, and I'm not really a fan of it, so I think I'm gonna get it repotted soon. And that was my monthly update for November. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and please subscribe to my channel for more orchid videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!